In this tutorial, we're going to talk about how to vectorize a raster image. Reasons for vectorization would be color changes or quality enhancement, or maybe the customer wants you to make modifications to the artwork and it's just easier to do it in vector form. In this particular case, what I'm going to go ahead and do is just check the quality of the image first. It looks like I want to enhance the resolution on it just a little bit before vectorizing it. So I'm going to go ahead and use the enhancement program that we learned about earlier. And from there, I'm going to set up what I need real quick. Once I save that to the customer's sources folder, I can go ahead and close those programs out and get back to the original here. I'm going to go ahead and import that item. And there we go. I like the resolution on the second one better, so I can just wipe out the first one. Now that I have the image that I want to work with, I'm going to go ahead and start the vectorization process. First thing I'm going to do is right-click on it, and then I'm going to click Outline Trace. You will never use Centerline Trace here at this particular job because we don't ever do technical illustrations, so don't worry about it. From there, I'm going to go ahead and click Logo. It doesn't really matter which one of these you click because you're probably going to end up changing the default presets anyway, but out of habit, I always choose Logo. You're going to go ahead and see a vectorization box now. Let me go ahead and just make that easily visible for you real quick. There you go. So this is the Power Trace tool. And you can see the raster image up top and then what it's going to do with the vectorization on the bottom. And it already looks pretty darn clean, so there's not much else I need to do with it. However, I do want to show you the options in here in case you need to play with it a little bit. First of all, there's a detail bar right here that allows me to move it down and up. You can see the lower I go on detail, the less of the detail of the original drawing that it attempts to power trace. The more detail that I get, the more detail it keeps. However, the more detail I get, the more blemishes typically get picked up too. Now, because I enhanced this image before we vectorized it, it actually is pretty darn clean. But I did find one small little issue. You can see right here where this wasn't all that clean. If you like making your detail as high as possible because you want to keep as much of the original image, that's totally fine. One way to go ahead and correct any blemishes that appear because of that is to go to the Colors tab up here and specify the amount of colors you want. You can see that I have got a whole bunch of colors in the current vector that I have created. And in the original artwork, when I eyeball it, I only see black, salmon, light green, and dark green, and then of course the white background. So the original has only 5 colors, but I've got 14 colors in the vector that I've made, which means that the program is trying too hard to colorize it. What I'm going to do is lower the number of colors to 5 and see what happens. You can see that I have the detail still set all the way to the very max, and now I've only got 5 colors limited in the current vectorization, and it's very clean and very detailed. I like this the best so far, and this is probably the best it's going to get. It almost looks perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it. Now I've got my vector version of the raster artwork. You can see the raster still looks pixelated even though I increased it if I zoom in. The vector, however, will never lose resolution quality. I no longer need the raster image, so I can wipe that out. I'm going to go ahead and ungroup the objects in this, and I'm going to remove the white background if there is any. Actually, I believe that I removed it already in the defaults for the vector, but sometimes there is one, so you just want to make sure that you don't leave the white background in. This image looks great. There isn't much else I need to do with it. What I can do is I can change the colors in here to make it a deeper red if the customer wanted, or if they wanted to do something oddball like make the edgings just weird colors that aren't typical for a watermelon, I could do that as well. Pretty much the image is free for me to edit now. I can go ahead and even make node changes if I need to change items or delete things. That's how you vectorize an item.